Alright guys, today I'm going to talk to you about two basic games shot by shotguns. I shoot these two games, I also shoot a few more. So after today you will be provided with information on how to shoot trap and skeet. As you guys probably know, I'm a member of the Mason shooting team, and I'm fairly new to it, but I've been shooting my whole life, rifles, pistols, shotguns at my grandparents' house, just other random things. So, I gave you my ethos. Why did I choose this? A lot of people have preconceived notions about shooters as being rednecks. I don't consider myself a redneck. I do listen to country music. But just the preconceived notions and stereotypes I don't think are necessary. And you also know the difference between handguns, rifles, and shotguns by the end of the speech. We had UPI, which is United Press International, come and interview our team as a collegiate sport. So I'll be showing a little video. Oh, there we go.
Started out with a game.
Alright. Just going to show you a little clip.
And that'd be on now. A lot of people have these preconceived notions about gun ownership and owning guns, and I guess the concern is that for college students especially. But I mean, it's a really safe sport, and the people out here all look out for safety for each other.
I think it's important for people to not be afraid of guns and looking at it more of a sport than guns being dangerous. So different than football.
A lot of it is just a lot of practice and repetition. When you're shooting a tournament and you have to break 100 birds, you have to do everything mentally and be focused. And if you get distracted, you'll miss a target, and that could cost you a tournament.
It's very much an individual sport, but you also begin to improve your sports. It's a sport that you can enjoy for your entire life. There are so many different forms of entertainment, and hobbies, and recreational activities that quite hard to shoot and compete with. I'm not sure how much it will grow, but it would be nice to see it grow.
Alright. That was, that last voice you heard was my coach speaking, and he was just talking about how
Go ahead and enroll. It's something different. It's unique.
Alright, and he was talking about how it's an individual sport like golf. You play for your own score, but if you're playing for a team, your score combined with everyone else's to make a final score. Alright? So, the types of guns are handguns, rifles, and shotguns. Those are the most basic. Handguns obviously fit in your hand, self-defense, cops use 9mm, there's 45s, there's the M1911, there's a bunch of different ones. Rifles include assault rifles. A lot of people don't understand that. They shoot longer bullets, different millimeters, and shotguns are obviously what I shoot for recreational use. This picture right here is of my personal gun. Alright, one of the easiest games is trap. It's called 16-yard trap. There's also different yardage trap. It is essentially the easiest game to learn because there's 5 stations, 5 shots to a station, and they're all going away from you. Birds fly out at 40 miles an hour. There's a trap field. So these numbers right down here are the stations. And there's 5 shots from each, 16 yards, 27 yards. There's different handicaps in between. There's a trap house out in front of you, and it throws it at a difference of 22-degree angles. The red arrow is the trap house. The yellow arrow are the speaker collars, which leave no room for human error on the pull, because you say pull and it goes. That's actually us at our tournament. We actually won an event there. Then that right there would be considered a trap house. They're usually low to the ground because some of the birds fly pretty low and you don't want to shoot them. Alright, skeet, my personal favorite. This diagram looks very confusing. I put that up there on purpose. It's actually very simple. This is just describing if you were to build one. You have different stations. You have a high house and a low house, meaning the high house is, I think, 8 feet in the air. The low house is pretty much right at your waist. And they're on other sides of the field. And you start off at 1, and you get a certain pair of targets. You get a high single, you get a low single, and then you get a pair. And what these dotted arrows right here mean are that's where they should cross. The trajectory of the birds should cross right at the middle, pretty much right out in front of the trap house I showed you earlier. There's usually a pole right there to establish if it's going correctly. That's our team shooting high house. You can't even see it in the picture. That's how high it's up. That's just another picture of like how the trajectory of the bird should go. That's us shooting the low house. Like I said, it's right at the waist, and it's a pretty easy shot because it goes right out in front of you and just pull the trigger. Other games include wobble, which is trap, essentially, with 2 shots coming out at 80 miles an hour with a difference of 60 degrees in either direction with it oscillating up and down. And international ski requires you to mount the gun from down here and then bring it up, whereas you can start like this normally. So you have to in-count for the mount, and it comes out at 70 miles an hour. So as a recap, we talked about different pistols, different rifles and shotguns, recreational use for shotguns. You learned about 2 of the most basic games for sporting clays, basically. And you've learned the flight class of trap and ski. And finally, you learned about 2 other games that I don't really care for, but I have to shoot.